Currently, season 4 of The Boys is airing, and it's getting to some pretty wild and weird places, but I'd be lying if I said I don't enjoy this show. And in honor of the new season, I wanted to make a video dedicated to the show, and quite frankly, the most interesting thing about the show is the Supes. More specifically, their psyche. See, the Supes within the show, with a few exceptions, are just horrible people. I mean, this is without a doubt completely factual and kind of the entire premise of the show. So in this video, I wanted to answer the question of why are the Supes in the show evil? So let us examine the show, the world of The Boys, and the average life of a Supe to find an answer. But before we begin, please make sure to like and subscribe, as that would mean a lot to me, and comment below what you think is the most interesting superpower shown in The Boys. First thing to mention is that in general, the Supes within the world of The Boys are not just average citizens, but rather celebrities. Some known throughout the world, others with a smaller, more niche influence. But nonetheless, they are treated with an elevated status compared to normal people within the show. This treatment, especially when fostered from a very young age, can alter the mind of the Supes. This distortion of their self-perception can lead to a disconnect from the average person, and even worse, can give justification for them to act outside of rules and regulations, societal norms, and perhaps even moral norms. This is why Supes are disobedient and rule breakers, and the more famous they become, the more exaggerated the distortions become. This is why the Seven, and more so Homelander, constantly break the rules, constantly view themselves as above people, and they are self-serving because their notoriety has conditioned them to think that their wants and needs are all that matters. The Vought Corporation is also a main component for the Supes being so despicable. See, Vought is a company, and the most important aspect for Vought is their bottom line. Vought, who has a monopoly on the Supes, constantly utilizes them for their profit. The Supes, although advertised as heroes, do not have a heroic bone in their body, as Vought has no interest in actually making them heroes. They fake almost all of the saves that the Supes do, as well as control their entire public persona so that they can maintain control of their public perception. Of course, all of this is done to maintain the Supes' profitability, as if they weren't liked, they wouldn't be profitable. But this goes one step further. If there is an issue that threatens their public perception, or there is another objective for profits, then Vought will go out of their way to advise the Supes to do immoral actions for company benefit. Of course, the Supes do immoral and even criminal actions all the time, but when this does happen, Vought will go out of their way and utilize resources in order to cover up, shift the blame, or even utilize media propaganda to convince the public of false truths or justify actions. Which leads to the next reason why Supes are quite evil within the world is a lack of accountability. When a normal person does something bad, whether it be immoral or illegal, they are caught, exposed, and reprimanded, much like our real world. This, however, is not true for the Supes within their world. This is due to a combination of their fame as well as Vought, as normally they are rarely even caught for their bad actions in the first place due to cover-ups or shifting the blame. However, on the very rare occasion that they are caught for their bad actions by doing something that is just undeniable, due to their public perception and fan base, they are very rarely criticized for it, and in some cases even cheered on by the masses. This happened to Firecracker when she managed to gain applause for having inappropriate relations with a child, as well as Homelander just straight up killing people and proclaiming he is above all normal people. Their fame and their grip on their fan bases allows them to control them and have them follow to the ends of the earth regardless of their actions. Vought is obviously a main component to why they even have these enormous dedicated fan bases in the first place, but they do much more than that. The sheer profitability of Vought allows them to launch massive propaganda campaigns and, in the worst cases, even pay for the best lawyers in order to increase the chances of winning in court whenever their Supes are tried. And if all else fails, these Supes are very strong, and there is no normal group of police or other law enforcement that can easily take them down. In the case of Homelander, there is no non-Supe within the show that can capture him, contain him, or kill him. So not only do they not have the normal restrictions of doing bad actions that normal people have, but they almost never have any negative outcomes for those actions. In a way, it is a rewarding behavior for them to do inhuman actions. However, the main undeniable reason that Supes are evil within the show of The Boys is that they are human. Hear me out. Although Supes within the world of The Boys believe themselves to be above normal people, and in a way they kinda are, they are still very human. They have human emotions and they react to things in a very human way. Although when we watch the show, it's very easy to just see them as heartless, vile creatures, and they are. It's much deeper than that. Supes within the show still have hobbies, interests, desires, but they also have loves, fears, internal crises, and wants for connection. Even Homelander, who can all agree is one of the worst of all Supes, still has human emotions. He craved for a father. He craved for his son. He craved for a family, for love. Of course, all of these things have fallen or are currently falling on his head, but these internal conflicts are of human nature. And although the Supes have super strength and can kill humans easier than normal people, if a normal human was to be given the conditions the Supes are, then they would be corrupted as well. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. We blame the Supes, but the Supes are just normal people with a normal human brain and normal human emotions. It's just that they've been consumed, tainted by the circumstances they've been brought into. This is why they were able to psychologically damage Homelander to crave attention, so he can be controlled with a very human instinct, wanting love. And although the Supes grab our attention by doing violent, gory actions, we can't forget that normal people within the show are just as morally bankrupt and evil, even with no powers. Vought performs medical procedures on children to turn them into quote-unquote heroes for their profit. They cover up murders. They torture children for their own gain. Although we feel the tension in the room when Homelander confronts his past observers, we can't forget that everyone in this room is a bad person. They are evil, a facility to push the limits of children. Even Homelander remarks that it was painful and he was emotionally damaged. So yes, the Supes within the show are evil, but they are not evil because they are Supes, but rather they are evil because they are human. When humans are given power, given attention, given protection, as well as given psychological harm and pain, then of course it corrupts them, as it would corrupt anyone. The Supes are human, whether they like to admit it or not. And as we see in the show, normal humans can be just as vile and despicable as Supes can be. So why are Supes evil in The Boys? Well, ironically enough, it's because it's their humanity that has been corrupted. But that is really all I have for you today. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe, as that would mean a lot to me. And comment below what you think about the assessment, as I'd love to see it. But with all that out the way, I hope you all have a great day, and peace out.